Hi, Patrick here. Some of you are here because you tried things and someone told you they were going to work, but they didn't. Because if they did, you wouldn't be here, right? Well, you probably worked with marketing people in the past that claimed they were going to generate quality leads, and then they left you hanging with a bunch of people who don't answer the phones and you can't figure out what's going on, right? Feels like you just kind of like threw your money all down a dark black hole. Well, that's not going to happen to you today. Today, we want to talk about how you can get more appointments and revenue without advertising. How you can do this yourself, or if you feel like letting us help you out a little bit. But the goal is to learn how to turn your old, cold, dead leads into dollars. Now, my promise to you is that I'm going to show you the exact system that's booked over 1,000 appointments for businesses just like yours. I'm going to show you the system, let you take a look at it, show you how you can set it up for your own business. I'm going to show you where the gold mine is in your business. I want to talk to you about a 3-line message that will wake up your leads and get your appointments booked, and how to automate for a steady flow of those appointments. Would that be okay if I did that for you today? I hope so. So here's where we're at. I started out in about, well, 1988, I started out on my first business that I was running by myself. And in about 1993, my twin brother and I started our own company, and we grew that from he and I, and actually my daughter was working for me at the time. She was, I want to say 17 or 18 years old. And the three of us grew that company from just that one little tiny office in a house in Folsom, California, to offices in multiple states, and me flying around the country and doing seminars and webinars and helping people and growing things. And I want to show you how you can have the same kind of business, because we did all of that. Well, after a few years, we did all of that with no advertising. At first, I was spending an insane amount of money in advertising. I had, in those days, it was all print ads. I had the right hand thumb position for those old timers who know what that means, and the inside covers, and thousands of dollars in 1993 dollars in marketing. And I stopped it all and used it to grow my business. One of the first books that I wrote in the late 90s, I think it was called Relationship Marketing, because people were asking me how I did what I did. And it was all really about having a system in place that was duplicatable and easy to use, that would get you more appointments, more referrals, and more 5-star reviews. And that's the key, is to make it duplicatable and simple and easy. And I taught that to my staff. And then after, about 20 years, I actually was in a car accident, and my attorney after the car accident asked me how I grew my business. So I started teaching it to other people. And that's where you come in. The recent results for this system and using these kind of systems has been amazing. With the growth of generative AI, with the growth of technology today, we can take that exact same system that I used to use, or the same style, if you will, of system that I used to use back in 1993, 94, 95, and do it on steroids now. Because in those days, we didn't have the internet. When I started, we didn't even have pagers. Okay. My kids and I sat around in a family room stuffing envelopes and mailing envelopes and doing things by hand and driving to people's houses and talking to them and all of those kind of things. Today, just recently, this system has created just the stats that you can see here. And I'll show you more of those in just a minute. And this can work for any business of any kind that has a list. If you don't have a list, you don't have a business. So there's a big myth out there, and that is that you need to keep buying new leads. Everybody wants more business. Everybody wants more money in their company. Everybody wants to generate more income, and they think the way to generate more income is to get more leads. And for the almost 15 years now that I've been training and helping other business owners after I moved out of my own brick and mortar businesses. Everybody keeps telling me they want more leads and they want to spend money on PPC and Facebook ads and Google ads and all of those things. And the reality is you don't need any of that. That is not true because you've got a gold mine right underneath your business. You can see some of the quotes that are here from some people that you may recognize the names of. I love the one that traffic isn't rented, or traffic, excuse me, traffic is rented. Your list is owned. In other words, if you go out and buy leads or you get leads from Facebook or you're relying on another business like Google to be able to get your business, you're relying on them not cutting off your Facebook page, not dropping out your list, not losing all your people, how you get those people. It's a real pain that they own your list. You should own your list and you should be in control of it. Because your email list is like a savings account for your business. It pays compound interest every time you use it wisely. So one question I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to ask you, I'm not going to ask you not to be afraid, but I'm going to ask you to look at your why. Why are you in business? Why do you want more income? Why do you, can you make your why bigger than your fear of dealing with people who maybe are unhappy because you sent them a message and you're afraid that they may send something negative to you? Or what if you can't figure out the technology? Well, we can help you with that. We can show you how to do that. But what if you don't have a list? Well, the odds are you probably do, and you're just not quite sure where to get it and how to use it. And I've heard people say, well, I don't want to bother them. Well, okay, if I had a cure for cancer and you had cancer, would you want me to bother you? Yes, you probably would. If you've got your business, whatever industry you're in, you are the best at that industry. And if the people that you're communicating with recognize that you are the best in your industry and you're there to truly help them, that you're putting their needs first and not your own, that's a key ingredient. You're putting their needs first, then why wouldn't they want to be reminded that you have the cure for their pain, for what they need, or their friends, or their family members? Why wouldn't they want to be reminded? They would. And so would you. You would love it if somebody would call you up right when you needed that particular thing. So first step in all of this is to get your list together. Okay? That's the part that seems to be the hardest for almost everybody that I talk to is, I'll be talking to an electrician or someone and they go, well, do you have a list? Well, I guess, I don't know. Well, have you ever done business? Yes. Been in business for 17 years. Great. Where are all those needs? Well, I think they're in House Call Pro or Service Titan or in my QuickBooks account or somewhere. So that electrician, and this is a true story, that electrician that I'm referring to had thousands of leads buried somewhere and wasn't quite sure what they were and was doing nothing with it. He didn't have any way to stay in touch with those people. He didn't have any way. He knew it would be the best thing to do, but a little bit of a fear of what happens if they weren't happy with the job that I did. We'll talk about how to fix that later. But the reality is, if you've got a business, you have a list. If you have friends, you got a list. You got a list of friends. If you've got a hobby, you've got a list. One time when I was doing real estate and I used to teach when I was listing a home, I would ask the person whose house I was selling to give me a list of everybody that they knew that was their friends or family members so we could send them information about the house that we were going to sell. It's basically the same thing. We were marketing their home and the best list was the people they already knew that they had a relationship with. It was amazing how many times we could find a buyer for the seller's house from a list of their friends and family members and other people because they knew somebody who wanted to live in that neighborhood. It was just amazing. One time I had a woman come to me and gave me her whole church roster. It was like, I went, oh, right. What am I going to do with it? There's like 900 names there. But she goes, I go, do you really know these people? Do you have a relationship? She goes, yeah, I'm on the board and I do that. And I went, okay. And we created a program to send out information to all 900 people. So you probably have a list and don't even know it, even if it's like that. One client of mine came to me who'd never even sold a single thing. He had a brand new company and he needed to get his reputation online. We took, I think it was 50 names. I said, do you know 50 people that have known you in the past? And the guy was in the military. He retired from the military, so he was in it for like, I don't know, 25 years or something. And we took that list of people that he gave me and sent them out an email campaign asking them how they felt about him and if they would leave him a review. And in 5 business days, in 1 week, I took this guy who'd never sold one thing in his business at all, and got him 7 5-star reviews on Google. So where is your list? Okay, well, the first things you can do is look at this list. That's a little funny to say, but you can look at this list and find out where your list is at. You can also, if you sign up at the end of this, if you get an appointment with me, I will send you this and some other free cool tools that you can get that you can use to kind of organize your list. But your list could be in a CRM like HubSpot, Go High Level, Jobber, any of those things. It could be in an email campaigns like MailChimp or Active Campaigns or Constant Contact or any of those. A lot of times I run into people that have lists in QuickBooks or House Call Pro or one of the other business related softwares like that. All we do is we can export those lists out of there and then we can do the magic with them once we pull those lists out of there just by putting them into a CSV or an Excel file. Step number 2, this is where the magic message comes in. This is the really cool thing. We call this a $15,000 formula because Austin, who showed me this particular trick that he uses, if you will, this magic message that he used, and I've done it since, is said he used this, though the first time that he used this message was to go out to when he was working for a solar company, and he sent this message out, and within, I think it was a couple of days, he got a response from somebody who wanted to put in solar into their home, and he made a $15,000 commission off of this single message. A simple 3-line text. And the magic to this text is that it's simple, it's easy, it's soft, it's not pressured, it's relational. And that's what we're trying to help you understand is this doesn't have to be some pushy salesy thing. It doesn't have to be some fancy, really crazy, colorful graphics and everything else. It's actually better if it looks and feels like it's coming from your heart and it's just natural. So the first part of the magic message is just a friendly check-in. Like, hey, by the way, this is Patrick. I haven't chatted with you in a while, thought I'd say hi. Or hey, this is Patrick. We talked a little while back about doing some database reactivation. Is that something you're still interested in? Anything like that, just to say hello. If you're with Alignable, it might be, hey, I was on Alignable, or this is Patrick from Alignable, and I was on that meet and greet and saw you the other day. Just wanted to stay top of mind with you and remind you that I'm here. If you have anything or you know anybody who might need some help with XYZ, would you mind just let me know and shoot me back a text message? Thanks. In this case, you're just reminding them of who you are, where you met them before, and then giving them a really easy question to ask them. Sometimes we'll start out with something simple like, are you still interested in looking for a car or whatever? I'll show you some more examples of that here. So here you go. This is one that was from a dentist, and you can see pretty simple. Hello, this is Sarah with ABC Dentals, it's been about a year since we've seen you. Did you need to schedule teeth cleaning or an appointment for anything? Nice and simple. The answer's going to be yes, no, maybe. We'll talk about that in a minute about how they answered. You're just trying to get them to communicate. This particular message, 17 new appointments in 7 days. Now, Jake was helping a cement company use the same messages here for two different cement companies. And same message. Hi, this is Jason with ABC Concrete. You inquired about working with us in the past. Do you or anybody you know need a quote on a project for this spring? Nice and simple. Yes, no, maybe. Same idea. They got 24 quote requests for this campaign that they did, and they also got 40 five-star reviews. Another message using from a car dealership. So 127 leads following the exact same process in 30 days. Anybody there want 127 leads in 30 days? Yeah, raise your hand. I'm there with you. 127 leads in 30 days. It's not a bad thing, especially for a text message. So this message is, hey, this is Nicole with ABC Dealership. You inquired about one of our pre-owned vehicles. Were you still interested in getting a new vehicle for your family or for you or a family member? So one of the things that they did in this message that I really liked was the ending where they were talking. They weren't directing the message to just the person who they sent the text message to. It was one of the things that I did a lot in my communication during my 20 years of doing this in real estate and mortgage, and that was talking about friends and family members. So it takes the pressure off the other person, and it also creates their reticular activator. It gets their little brain spinning, wondering if they know anybody who's a friend or family member who might be able to use this service. That's where the referrals come in. I used to close 10 deals a month using that message in real estate. And real estate, you make some decent commissions in. So it kept me and my team going for a long time. So big brands use this idea all of the time. You'll see all this if you start looking around. It'll start tricking your clicking your reticular activator. That's hard to say. So Amazon uses it for purchases history, Nike, Sephora, Starbucks, Domino's, everybody that is in business that understands the need to stay in touch and the how much cheaper it is to get business from people who already know, like, and trust you, and how much better your return on investment is when you're dealing with past customers. The big companies have it down. Do you? I know you should do it because everybody knows they should do it. Everybody else says, yes, I know I should do it. But are they doing it? Not usually because it's scary. They're a little not sure about what's going to happen. They're a little unsure of how to do it. They'll start it and stop it. And that's the important part. That's where the automations come in. But to recap, you want to start out with that simple message, a friendly check-in, some kind of soft context reminder of who you are, just to refresh their memory of why you're reaching out to them, and a no pressure call to action, just something really simple. And you can create a fortune for your business with no ads, no funnels, no sales teams, just like I did when I grew my company from 1993 on. We dumped all of our ads with thousands of dollars worth of ads. We stopped it and we grew that company to where I was flying around the United States doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And it was amazing, actually. So nowadays, fast forward to today in the 2025 arena, we can now put all of this on steroids because we can literally send text messages out and make money and automate it so it all is happening for us. You can grab your favorite CRM, send out a message, wait for a reply. The CRM will tell you about the reply, and then you get to respond to the reply. So you can set this up so that it automatically sends out that 3-line message and then communicates with you as all of that's going on. And you don't even have to do it yourself. You just drop people into this little workflow and a pipeline with any CRM, and it'll work. and I know one of your fears is what's going to happen if they respond. Well, okay, you want people to respond. It's a good thing. Okay. I'm just going to interject here. Even if it's a negative response, it's a good thing. Okay. Number one, you can take a negative response and turn it into a positive response by using like the bottom of this list. So sorry to have bothered you. The felt, you know, I understand how you feel. Other people have felt that way before. Well, this is what we found. We didn't want to cause you any problem, but other people that were doing solar, have felt that did not know that there were some changes in the environment, and right now they could get these great rebates or whatever it is, whatever the thing is. But the other side of that coin is also that you want to know what's happening in your business. Okay, if you don't know that a secretary of yours is ticking off your past clients, you should know. That's amazingly important. If you didn't know that you referred a technician to somebody and they went out to go do the work and they were rude or showed up, maybe buzzed out a little bit or something, you want to know that. You want to know the negative responses as well as the positive responses. I teach a whole class on that on growing your 5-star reputation. But there's going to be just a kind of a limited number of responses that are going to happen. People are going to say yes, which is great because then you just book an appointment with them. They're going to say no, which then you're going to go back to them with hey, I understand how you feel. This is what we found. Other people have felt the same way. This is what we found. Would it be okay if I stay in touch with you in the future in case things change? That's actually a great line to use, something along those lines. Or I already bought. And that's where you go, okay, great, congratulations. Sorry we can help you right now. If anything ever changes or you need our help in the future, we're here for you. Again, would it be okay if we stay in touch with you? Great way to do it. And who are you? Well, hey, quick message. This is who we are, blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to take those messages and you're going to control them and you're going to start putting them into a workflow that looks like this, which would kind of blow your mind if you tried to do it all by yourself at once, but it's not going to happen all at once. This workflow was built out over a longer period of time. And basically, it takes all of the responses that anybody ever said and then creates a response to the response and then a response to that response and then waits and then responds again and then waits maybe a month and then responds again and then waits and responds and waits and responds. So you can create a workflow that the AI now is automating all of those things for you. So you don't manually have to do it. You don't have to sit around on your phone trying to make all this happen. This exact workflow generated 52 appointments in 2 weeks. Mind boggling. Okay. Mind boggling. And now with generative AI, it gets even better, faster, smarter, amazingly good magic words. I had a lot more verbs and adjectives to make this happen because this workflow that you're looking at right now, it not only will it allow you to be able to automatically respond to people the way you want, but it's not linear. It will bounce around and the generative AI can respond to the person based on what they said, and then it knows whether to lead them, ask them other questions and what objectives and what things are going on. So you don't even have to try to figure it out. You don't have to know exactly how to respond to each statement because the AI is going to do it for you. So you can actually carry on more things. The AI will actually book the appointments for you. It will change the conversation from just chatting about how things were going to, oh, well, glad you were happy with what we did for you. Would you like to leave us a review kind of thing, or talk about referrals? And it'll carry on any kind of conversation that you want. That particular campaign actually ran last month. I'm recording this in June of 2025. Last month in May, with about a little under 3,000 messages went out to an old list for a company. They got almost a 50% response rate. Now, I'm not telling you you're going to get a 50% response rate. Part of it's going to depend on your list and how good you are at communicating with the people and some of those things. But they got over 330 people who said they were still interested in talking to them and wanting to set an appointment. Okay, this is not like 2 years ago kind of thing. This was just last month. So one of the things that I want to remind you is don't let your fear stop you. Don't let your fear get in your way, because now you don't have to be chasing leads. You don't have to be spending money on ads. You don't have to be throwing money away and not figuring out where it's going. You don't have to follow up stress. You don't have follow up stress about what to do about somebody who, when you ran an ad, you can just have a system that you can turn on and off and control the flow of because it just works. Now, I'm not here to sell you anything, but I do want to let you know about a opportunity I have for you to talk to myself and one of my team members to help you figure out whether this is the right thing for you to do, whether you want to do it yourself or allow us to help you out with it. We can help you for free with a no pressure, no hassle call and just kind of talk to you about your business, do a little audit, help you with some automations, chat with you about some automations. We don't build the automations, but talk to you about what CRMs you have right now, what might be the best places to go with that, how you're handling your referrals, how you're handling your 5-star system. So if you're interested in Revive It AI, our system to help you do it all, or you just like to chat with somebody who's been in the trenches with you, feel free, check the link and schedule an appointment with myself and my team, and let's find out how to revive that old cold database of yours.